summer friends. So this week we're going to be doing a few movies on some different things that have to do with nature. So, the first week we did things on self-care and how to take care of yourself. And the second week I did some videos on music, and I'm not sure if they're going to put these up in order, but this week we're going to do 5 videos on nature and how those affect different things. And then we're going to also do craft activities that go with each one. So you can really get some hands-on, some feel of what we're talking about here. So one we're going to do is water, and how there are different bodies of water, different water animals. I mean, I'm not going to go into too much detail because it would be, hours and hours and hours. Obviously, there's animals that live in lakes and animals that live in swamp water, and there's animals that live in the ocean. And so there's a lot of different things that we could do with those. We're just going to do some simplified things. And also how water is useful to you and vital to the earth. So we are going to do I'll put up some informational videos. So you know how I like to do it, like one big movie, like you're just like at the movies and you're watching a movie. So it'll be different clips. Like this clip will be at the front of all of the videos, but then it'll be some informational and then some different activities to do with it, whether it be some language activities, definitely some science activities, and some craft art activities as well, so that your mind and your kinesthetic and all your senses are all involved. Clouds. So you can't really talk about water unless you talk about the water cycle, but there are so many different types of clouds. I thought it would be more interesting to do clouds by itself so that you can actually see the difference in different clouds. That was a very fascinating thing for me, and now I find myself constantly looking up in the sky and finding there's lots of different books on clouds too. So I'll put some of those up for you too, in case you're, somebody wants to help and help you grow and do some more research that has to do with those. I will put up informational books on water, clouds, rainbows, tornadoes, and volcanoes. Just like quick somebody reading one of those books to you. I'll just include those in the video. They're just fun, and then you can get some more information from somebody other than just me. Rainbows. So here's the thing, you can't do water and clouds without rainbows. Rainbows are my favorite part of nature. It is amazing to see that the world, that our earth creates rainbows from, you'll have to see, it's from how the light reflects. And a rainbow is actually only half of a circle, and you'll see in the videos how that goes. Lots of rainbow crafts. I could probably do rainbow crafts all day long, honestly. I love rainbows. But, you can do whatever you want to do from the choices. I try to give you as many choices as I can. Tornadoes and volcanoes. So sometimes people mix these up. I'm not really sure how, but tornadoes are actually windstorms that form in a funnel from a funnel cloud, and you will see from the informational videos how that works. And I will put up several activities for you to do with those as well. Volcanoes are actually from the ground, and how magma is released from the ground through the earth. So that's like an earth thing. This is a storm thing. So these are two different things. They are dangerous on occasions, so you want to make sure that you listen to the video closely so that you can figure out when it's a good idea to be away from. And there are a lot of dormant volcanoes, though, that you can actually visit and see actual volcanic rock and things like that. So these are the 5 things that we're going to study this week: water, clouds, rainbow, tornadoes, volcanoes. I will always make it exciting. You know that. I love to gather a lot of information for you so that you can watch it like a movie. Like I said, it's just like being in front of your TV, except for it's fun and exciting and educational. Good stuff, right? So, and I will definitely put up a video of me making one of these craft activities, and then I will also give you some choices. Remember, always go on whatever YouTube channel that I've taken the clip from. And definitely subscribe. Most of them do some really fun, cool activities. And now that you're home during the summer, you don't want to be sitting in front of the TV all day. We want some good choices, okay? None of the books are very long, so go ahead and listen to someone read the book for you. Don't get frustrated and back out on me. Have a good time. Have fun. Get your hands dirty. Do those crafts. I need for you to enjoy learning, because that's really the goal of all of these. Okay, have a great time. We'll look in whatever one you're on today. Have fun, listen to the story, listen to the videos, do some of the crafts, enjoy learning. Bye.
Volcanoes. In this video, we're going to learn about different types of volcanoes. The Earth is alive! Not alive like you and me, but the Earth is always moving and changing, and never stays the same. You may see it right before your very eyes, or you may not see or feel it happen at all. But it's happening right now beneath our feet. The Earth is changing. Let's explore some of the ways the Earth changes. Run for your lives! She's gonna blow! It's a volcano! A volcano is a fracture or opening in the Earth's crust through which magma escapes. Deep in the bowels of the Earth, beneath the crusts are vast chambers of molten liquid rock we call magma. Magma can slowly cool and become hardened, or magma with trapped gases can flow and feed a volcano and rise to the surface of the Earth. When magma reaches the surface, it becomes lava. A volcano may be active, or a volcano may be dormant, which means that it's only sleeping and may someday erupt. Or a volcano may be extinct, which means that it was once active, but will probably never erupt again. Let's explore 3 types of volcanoes. Millions of years ago, the islands of Hawaii emerged from the sea, powered by erupting volcanoes. The formation of the islands of Hawaii are examples of shield volcanoes. Some of these volcanoes are active and continue to erupt. Other volcanoes have been dormant for 1 million years. These volcanoes are massive in area and have gradual sloping sides. The eruptions are like fountains, and lava flows are very liquid. The Loihi volcano, south of the Big Island of Hawaii, is one actively erupting volcano under the sea. Loihi is a seamount rising 10,000 feet from the floor of the Pacific Ocean, and as it continues to erupt molten lava, it one day will become an island all its own in about 100,000 years. Shield volcanoes are not as explosive as cinder cone volcanoes. A cinder cone volcano has straight, steep sides. In 1943, Senor Pulido was working in his cornfield near the village of Paricotin, Mexico. Pulido tells the story that as he and his family were working in the field, that the earth began to tremble and shake, and right before his very eyes, the ground swelled to over 6 feet. A fissure opened, and gray ash and smoke poured into the air, and the sound of a terrible hiss and the horrible smell of sulfur. Through the thick smoke, Pulido could not find his family. He went back to the village and discovered they had arrived there safe and sound. Through the days and weeks and years that followed, the volcano would continue to grow to over 1,300 feet high, or 396.24 meters. Spewing hot smoke and ash into the air, everyone had to be evacuated and find another home as thick, slow-moving lava would advance to the villages of Paricutin and San Juan, which were destroyed. Can you imagine how awful that would be? The Paricutin volcano has been very important to scientists, as they have seen the birth and rise of a volcano and watch it become dormant. And though a cinder cone volcano may be terrible, it is no match for the spectacle of a volcano which can be far more powerful, far more terrible, far more frightening, and more explosive. Of course, we are talking about the stratovolcano! A stratovolcano is characterized by gentle lower slopes, gradually increasing to steep upper slopes. They are constructed of layers of hardened lava and volcanic ash and pumice. Stratovolcanoes are known to have violent eruptions, expelling fiery lava fragments through the air like bombs. Toxic gases fill the air, and massive plumes of ash clouds carry vast distances, making aviation travel impossible. These volcanoes are dangerous and deadly, and though lava from these volcanoes flows slowly, it covers and burns and destroys everything in its path. In the Cascade Mountain Range of southwest Washington state, there rises many beautiful snow-covered peaks. Some of them are volcanoes. One of these volcanic mounts is known as Mount St. Helens. It was no secret that Mount St. Helens had been an active volcano for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, and volcanologists, scientists who study volcanoes, had been studying St. Helens with their equipment watching and waiting for another perhaps major eruption. It was possible that St. Helens would not erupt in their lifetime. Even with fancy equipment, these things are difficult to predict. Then came the spring of 1980. For months, tremors and earthquakes shook the ground. On the north face of Mount St. Helens, a bulge began to form. Volcanologist David A. Johnston was watching and measuring the growth of the bulge with his lasers. On May 18, 1980, David called out over the radio, "This is it! This is it!" The caldera blew with supersonic fury. Everything in the path of this massive eruption was wiped out for 8 miles. David A. Johnston was camped right in the path of the most destructive volcanic eruption in known U.S. history. 250 homes, railways, bridges, highways, all gone. Could Mount St. Helens erupt again? Will you wait and see? In the world, there are nearly 1,500 potentially active volcanoes. 169 are in the United States. Is there one near you? Many volcanoes are located along the Pacific Rim, an area that reaches along South and North America, along the Aleutian Islands of Alaska, down the islands of Japan and the Philippines, Indonesia, New Zealand, and the South Pacific. This path in the Pacific Ocean is known as the Ring of Fire. For millions of years, our Earth has been alive with erupting volcanoes. In addition to those we've explored, and among the most frightening and terribly destructive are Mount Vesuvius of Pompeii, Krakatoa in Indonesia, and the volcanic complex in Iceland. And deep underneath Yellowstone National Park lies enormous chambers of molten magma, which one day may find its way to the surface and become the most massive supervolcano ever.
Today we're going to do a volcano. For this project you will need an adult to help you. You'll need 2 bottles, tape, scissors, pencil, teaspoon, tablespoon, red food coloring, plate, funnel, soap, vinegar, baking soda, and cardboard. You need to draw a shape like this on the cardboard. I'm using foam paper. Next, you gotta cut it out. You need a shape like this. Next, you're gonna fold it into a cone and then tape it. Just like this. Next, you pour in the vinegar in one of the bottles. You're filling about this much. Then you put a few drops of food coloring. I did 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you put in soap, about 1 tablespoon. Now put the bottle to the side. Next, you put your second bottle on the plate. Oh. Okay. And then you put your volcano cone on. Finally, you put the mixture into the volcano.
Okay, kiddos. So I showed you the video of the little boy making the volcano in a water bottle, and you're old enough now that I'm gonna show you the science behind how that actually works. So first we're gonna start off with I'm gonna show it to you on this baking tray, because then that way when it explodes or it goes all over, then we know what happened. But this is just water. And then we have baking soda, red food coloring, just like he did. And this is actually apple cider vinegar, so mine's gonna look a little bit darker, but either way, it will work. It's the vinegar in it that makes the baking soda explode, pretty much. So now I'm gonna put in some baking soda. So it actually calls for about 3 to 4 teaspoons or tablespoons if you're talking about just a regular glass, but this is a large vase, so I'm actually just gonna pour quite a bit in here. Now it's really gonna look a little crazy when it's done. All right, so that's just baking soda and water, and then I'm gonna put in the food coloring, and all this is going to do is turn the water red. And that's just so it looks more like lava, right? We don't, no, that's really just for lava. And I lost my stir. Oh, guess what? I'm gonna make kind of a mess. That's okay. So I'm just gonna stir that so that it turns red. There we go. Everything's red. And the secret magic ingredient is vinegar. So this is baking soda and vinegar put together. Now I, again, put it on this big tray so that when it goes all over, it's okay. I'm gonna take the cap off. And And I'm just gonna pour until it explodes. Let's see. Watch it. Get fizzing. Here it comes. Ooh, there it is. So that's the science behind it. It's the vinegar and there it goes. I'm trying purposely to not make it go all over. Let's see. There it goes. Woo, there it is. So now this is a really fun experiment to do outside. I obviously didn't. Or on a tray so that you can clean up. But what I would suggest is that you take a regular plastic cup and then you do the exact same experiment, but bury it in a hill so it actually looks like a volcano. Now we know that this is not the actual science of a volcano. This is the science of vinegar and baking soda. But if you wanted to have the science of an actual volcano, then you need to pay attention to the other video, which tells you about the magma underneath the surface and what lava actually is. This obviously is water and baking soda and vinegar. So it's not actual lava, but that's a really cool experiment to do anyway, to watch the explosion or how it comes from the bottom, the eruption, I should say. That's our vocabulary word, right? Those volcano vocabulary words. But this is super fun to do. I like to do it outside and actually mold the dirt around the glass so it looks like an actual volcano. So good times. So have fun outside. Remember, we like to be outside. We like to do things with things we already have. Vinegar, like I said, I used apple cider vinegar because that's what I have around my house. But if you don't have, you can use any kind of vinegar because it's the vinegar mixed with the baking soda. The baking soda is important though. It has to be baking soda. So have a good time. Make a volcano. I would love to see them. If you can post them somewhere, that would be great. Enjoy, and remember, don't go near volcanoes unless they are dormant. And if you are paying attention to the other video, you know what that means. Bye. Happy volcano making.
Hi kids, today we're going to make our very own volcano. Remember, always have your pens with you while doing an experiment. Here's what you'll need. 3 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, 1 cup of water, and 2 tablespoons of oil. First, we're going to make our volcano. We're going to make our own dough. You could also use things like clay, paper mache, or dirt. First, we're going to pour our flour into a bowl. Then you're going to get your salt and put it onto the flour. Then take your 1 cup of water and pour it onto the salt and dough. Then take 2 tablespoons of oil and put it in a bowl. Then stir it all up with a fork or a spoon. Once you've mixed up your dough, it should look like this. Add more water if it gets too crumbly. I've made this box just so that it doesn't get messy. But you could also use a tray. I'm just shaping it into a mountain so that it looks like a volcano. You might want to have a little film canister or something like this, and then you're going to put it into the top of your magazine. heat it to make it brown. You can paint it if you want. This is my completed volcano. Now it's time for the eruption. Here's what you'll need. An ounce of vinegar, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, a little bit of dish soap, and some food coloring. First, take your baking soda and pour it into your cup. Then take a little squirt of dish soap and squirt it into your container. Then take about 2 drops of red and yellow food coloring and squeeze them into your container. Now it's time for the eruption. Take your vinegar and quickly pour it into your container.
To the volcano. Going off with Jane to look at the volcano. Going off with Jane to look at the volcano. Walking down the lane to look at the volcano. Walking down the lane to look at the volcano. Riding the Great Dano to look at the volcano. Riding the Great Dano to look at the volcano. Sitting on the train to look at the volcano. Sitting on the train to look at the volcano. Jumping on the plane to look at the volcano. Jumping on the plane to look at the volcano. Flying off to Spain to look at the volcano. Flying off to Spain to look at the volcano. Splashing through the rain to look at the volcano. Splashing through the rain to look at the volcano. Going up the crane to look at the volcano. Climbing down the chain to look at the volcano. Wow, we found a volcano. Boom! Uh-oh. In a lot of pain because of the volcano. In a lot of pain because of the volcano. Never do it again. Stay off the volcano. Never do it again. Stay off the volcano.